Welcome back, Junior Black Belts, teens, and adults. Very happy to be with you again today. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to take a look at a little bit more about Tosan form, specifically the stances, and we're also going to talk about how to make strong strikes on the ground. So hopefully you caught up yesterday's lesson online, but I noticed that some of you have a bunch of lessons to catch up. So this one kind of leads in from that one, and tomorrow's will lead in from today's. So try to catch up your lessons as soon as you can. Go over the ones that you need help with. Send me emails about any questions that you have on any of this material. And I'll look forward to seeing how you're doing on our live classes this week. So thanks again for joining us. Let's have fun. Today's warm-up and stretch will really help you with kicking, especially side kicking. And so we'll just do a few reps together to give you the idea. We'll do a warm-up and a stretch, warm-up and a stretch. And then you guys can go through this as many times as you want to make it a good workout, or you can do it just a few times to have it a warm-up for stretching like we're going to do today. So let's start out like this in a middle stance, so feet wide, feet parallel to each other, and we're just going to do halfway down. So get into the middle stance position and hold that position, and then all the way down as deeply as you can safely do in squats, and push your knees wide. Then come up and hold. And come up to the top and down. And hold. And all the way down and push out wide. And coming up. All the way up. Hold. And all the way down. And push. And hold. About 10 seconds this time. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up. And one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And down and press. Okay, so let's stretch our quadriceps. So those are muscles you should be able to feel when you're doing this exercise. If you can, just stand in space and grab opposite foot. If you need support on the wall, that's fine. So grab opposite foot and stretch your quadricep back until you can feel this. Pull out your ankle and pull. That's right, find the right position. Okay, opposite. Good, okay. So next we're going to do side kick fold. So we'll start here on our knees and bring our knee all the way to our shoulder. So try to touch your shoulder with your knee, and then watch behind you as you're kicking in a straight line. Straight line. Straight line from your heel to your knee and your hip when you extend, but try to make your heel travel in a straight line. Heel travel in a straight line. Okay, other side of our body. Knee all the way to your shoulder. Kick straight back behind you. Straight back behind you. Work on getting the round kick out of our side kick as we talked about. Good. Okay, so next one, we'll do pigeon stretch. So put one foot over the other like this and stretch, and you should be able to feel the part of your gluteals that are lifting that leg. So stretch. Move it around, sink down into it. Okay, try the side of your body. All right, next is we'll do a plank and leg lift. So kind of the same idea. And just lift one leg up right before it touches the ground. Lift it up high again. Straight leg. Concentrate on the muscles that are doing the lift. And another leg. Up high, right before it touches. Press back up. Press back up. Hard as you can. Okay, so now let's do figure 4. Again, if you need to lean against something, that's fine. Cross your leg over and sit down on this. Good. Other side. Fine. So one more. We need to work on our balance and we need to work on weight transfer. So we're going to be really careful on this. Just hop and then reach. Same hand and same foot. Good. Outside. Hop and reach. Same hand, same foot. There you go. Lift up your foot as high as you can. Try to settle straight down into this. There we go. Whoops, needed 2 hands there. Lean too far forward. There you go. Hold it, hold it, hold it. All right, one more. And lean far forward, far forward. Lift up high. Good. Okay, one more stretch. Number 12. Now again, if you do big reps on these, 20 on each side, or keep going back through them, you'll get a really good workout. And do your best here. Okay, hope you're ready to kick with me today. Thanks. So a quick word about stances and moving between stances, especially in this new form that we're working on. So let's go over the basic ones in this form. The first one is front stance, where the front knee is substantially bent and the back leg is substantially straight. So it shouldn't be locked, but it should be pushed straight. No one should be able to tell the difference between whether you have it locked or not, but you don't want it locked back against the limit of its range of motion. So front stance is pretty much your whole body, your feet, your hips, your shoulders, your eyes, everything turned towards the front most of the time. And when you move, obviously you don't want to move a straight leg, you'll rise up and fall down. So bend your front leg first before you move forward or before you move backwards on front stance. And again, no one should see that. You should know that you're doing it. So bend it and slide forward, bend it and slide backwards. One other little bit more complicated turn that we have here is from front stance to front stance, turning 180 degrees. So as you can see, I hope on this tape on the floor, we've got parallel lines here, and we call these railroad tracks. And so what we're going to do as we turn 180 degrees from front stance to front stance is that we're going to move both feet onto one railroad track, both feet. And then rotate the opposite way by moving the foot that was our back foot that's now our front foot to here. So one more time, move the front foot over here and move the new front foot to the other railroad track. So essentially they're switching railroad tracks as we rotate. So that's one. Back stance means that actually your heels are in line with each other at 90 degrees to each other. Most of your weight is on your back foot. Both knees are bent a lot. So you should be able to easily pick up that front foot without having to lean away from it. Just pick up like that. So this is back stance or fencing stance or L stance, has lots of different names. I'll show it to you this direction. So knee, body are in line with each other and 90 degrees to the target, usually. The front foot is pointed towards the target, and of course your attention and your block or your strike or whatever usually pointed in the direction of the front foot. So knees bent a lot, and most of the weight on the rear foot. And the other one is middle stance. So middle stance means that your weight is evenly distributed between both legs. Your feet are parallel, your hips are tucked forward, and you're going to be most of the time your attention's in the front, but it could be to the side of you. So those are the three main stances that we use in these ones. Front, back, and middle stance. There are lots and lots of variations of these, and we'll get into those as we do other forms, but essentially that's how we do the stances for Tosan. So we're going to talk about ground tap today. So if we find ourselves on the ground and we've got to get this person to change their mind for us, we want to do a couple things on our striking. One is I want stability. So in other words, throughout the whole movement, I want myself to be stable. And that means having the widest, strongest platform that you can to strike through. The second thing that I want is I want weight transfer. In other words, I don't want to just be hitting the person. I want to make sure that I'm transferring as much weight as I can through the strike, as much weight as I can through the strike. This is actually the hardest punch that's ever been measured, is somebody coming with their weight, leaning forward and transferring potentially half their body weight through that strike. And then the third thing I want is I want a stationary target. So I might have to give up part of my weight transfer to keep the target stationary. We want him focused on protecting himself from the strike. We want to prevent him from doing that if possible, but we certainly want to make the strike so strong and get his attention so much that he's not thinking about counterattacking us. So those are things we want to think about again. So again, stability for the striker, stability for the person that's protecting themselves. So striking to weight transfer. So make sure that it's, again, not just a strike with like this, but turning your body weight, turning and bringing some weight through it. So you're transferring from high to low and also rotational force added to that. So the longest possible strike that you can do without getting counterattacked first. And then we also want a stationary target if at all possible, okay? That may be really hard to do at the early part of this, but we're hoping to end this as quickly as possible. So stationary target means we may have to use some weight on different parts of the person's body to keep them still while we use the rest of our ability to transfer weight to strike. So hopefully that's helpful to you. You can think about that through knee strikes. You can think about that through elbow strikes. We don't want to punch as much as possible. We want to avoid punching in self-defense for all kinds of reasons. But we want to make sure that we're striking as hard as we can with weapons that can sustain the force that we're bringing through this. All right, so that's why we want to use the hardest weapons that we can. So hopefully that's helpful to you, and think about that as you're setting up your groundwork strikes. Why did the student eat his homework? Because his teacher told him it was a piece of cake.